This is Jane Marie.
And this is Soko.
You are now listening to the Queer Ambition Podcast.
The Queer Ambition Podcast is the only podcast celebrating rising LGBTQ professionals,
providing advice on navigating the modern workplace,
and discussing polarizing topics within the community.
Now listen up.
My name is Yanni. I'm from the town. I'm from Oakland, California, born and raised, been here my whole life. Moved to Atlanta for a little bit, came back, been traveling a bit. Right now, I just finished my first project, which was a queer fashion show, which was centered around women and people of color, and also transgender folks. I felt like there needs to be representation in the fashion industry, that we need to be seen, that we have a voice, and we're here. That was the biggest project I've ever done. Moving forward, I do runway. I'm a model. I just start go-go dancing. I make music. I dance. I'm a creative. So I'm just tapping into all of the creative sides of me right now in life and trying to put that back into the universe.
So if someone is going to come up to you and they're going to say, yo, Yanni, give me one word to describe you. Yanni is, I am, what?
Charismatic.
Okay.
Charismatic?
I like charismatic. I feel like that is a word that is closest to, if I could put myself in a word. I feel like a very old soul. I was raised by older Black women. I feel I'm very down to earth. I'm very loving. I like to embrace people. I like to hold people. And I feel like my energy is warm, maybe orange or red or something, you know?
I can feel the orange reddish tone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say charismatic. Yes. I feel like
That's perfect. So we met you at San Francisco Pride.
Yeah.
I don't remember this encounter.
Oh my God, I totally remember it. So it was that was the first party. That was the first, I think it was the club or the bar, right? And it had the outside part. It was the first place we went to.
Yeah, Virgil's.
Yeah.
I remember that whole night.
Yeah, Thursday I was hosting Virgil's, and yeah. Well, or it could have been, yeah, it was Thursday. It was Thursday.
Yes, Thursday. Thursday is when we met, and then we saw Yanni perform at...
Which one? Was it Unique or Wild Things?
Where was
Wild
Unique? Was it
Unique was at Slate Bar in the Mission, and Wild Things was at the Public Works when Kehlani performed.
So then the other one.
It was Friday.
Yeah. Funny story about that Wild Things party. So we go to the Saturday thing at the park. We're all lit, having a good time. I mean, the best time. We have some of the greatest friends, and we're all having a blast. And then we're like, all right, we're going to go back. It's 8 p.m. at this time. We're going to go back, take a nap, get dressed real quick, and head back out to the Wild Things party. Bruh. We ain't wake up till 1 a.m.
It was sad.
And then we wondered, we're in a group chat. Why didn't no one text us and say, yo, wake up? Yo, y'all coming? But yeah, we didn't make it to the party.
We got left.
Yeah,
yeah. That was a crazy party. That happened to me at LA Pride. I fell asleep and didn't wake up the first night. All my friends, we took a nap in the bed, and I don't know how we all slept through the alarms, but all of us slept through them. We woke up at 1:30. We're like, oh shit, well we missed LA Pride.
Yeah.
Damn.
Jane Marie, did you feel bad after missing it? Did you have FOMO?
I did. I'm not gonna lie. And that was the event before I was leaving.
Yeah.
So then I had super FOMO. And then I hit up Tony, and Tony's like, oh, that's crazy because it was mad fun. How's she gonna say that to me? Bitch, I'm mad I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Don't feel too bad. I was there in the green room. I didn't see Kehlani the whole night. I didn't even see her performance.
Damn. I don't feel bad because you know what? I would have been too tired anyway. I would have just been like, this is miserable.
I was tired. We were exhausted. We danced a lot of sets that night.
Yeah.
It was fun though. I think I had my best set was upstairs, and I walked in and they were playing a bunch of EDM, and I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm about to dance to this music. And something came over me, and I was just bending backwards on the stage. I made a hella tips. Like, that shit was so fun.
So wait. When you say dance, what kind of dancing were you doing?
I don't know if you've seen photos, but typically when I go dance, I'll have a harness or like a crop top, something, or by the end of it, I'm half naked. You want me to bring up a photo right now?
No. I'm telling J. Marie when she edits this, put the photo right here.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do I edit the photo?
Sorry.
By the end of it, I'm pretty much naked. Either I'll have on tape or pasties or nothing, and I'll just have shorts on the bottom and some shoes and just.
How did you get into this?
Living my best life, huh?
How'd you get into it?
Well, okay, so 4 years ago, I danced twice at Bench and Bar in Club 21, and they didn't pay me. I just danced for tips, and it was just kind of like to have fun with my friends because my friends were hosting the party, and I never did it again after that because they didn't pay us. So fast forward to this year, I was dating my ex, who is also a go-go dancer.
You were dating your ex. Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that.
We were together. She was a dancer. And at all the parties, I was always dancing on the floor, and everybody's like, you should go dance. And so I talked to her about it, and we got booked for LA Pride together. So they called us and said, do you both want to dance? Nice. And I was like, hell yeah, let's go to LA, So we went. It was a great time. I come back. I got booked for Pride. This was actually the first Pride. I got booked every day for Pride. So I guess they saw that I could really dance and I was comfortable doing it, and people have been booking me. So I enjoy it. I mean, I already dance for free and I dance all night long. So
you right.
And on the dance floor at the end of the night, I always have my shirt off. So I was like, this is perfect. Now I can dance and get paid.
Right.
What makes you so confident and so able to do that? Because there are certain people that can only dance in their living room, So how did you build up that confidence?
Ooh, wow. Okay. It took a lot for me to get to the place where I am now. I've had body dysmorphia. I can never pronounce it right. Can you correct me?
Dysmorphia.
Yes, thank you. I never really was comfortable in my body. Also, I struggled with my gender identity up until this point. And I'm not really sure what clicked. I went to Palm Springs for Dinah Shore. For the first time, I had just felt really comfortable. I was surrounded with everyone who was so free. And I was just like, I want to be this free. Also, before that, I was spending a lot of time with a lot of Black femmes who were very magical and who were healers. And a lot of that divine feminine energy kind of came over me. And where I used to be super toxic masculine, I've transitioned we're getting rid of the toxic masculinity and coming into more of a divine masculinity and a divine feminine energy merging to where I feel good about myself. I feel like I'm actually living within my truth and walking within the person I'm supposed to be on this planet. And I stopped body shaming myself. There's no reason to body shame yourself. Like, everybody is beautiful. I actually just got picked up for a campaign for a different pigeon, and it's called the Everybody Campaign. And they sent me a bodysuit. I'm actually going to wear it tonight when I go dance. So just coming into actually finding me, and what's comfortable for me, and that I don't have to hide behind a toxic masculinity to fit into the world, and to be accepted by men like that. It doesn't feed me in any way, doesn't uplift me. It doesn't help my community. It doesn't help people around me. So it was unlearning and deconstructing a lot of things that I've always known my whole life, and coming into something that I was I never tapped into, and then tapping into it, I feel free within my body. So when I went to Dinah Shore and I saw everybody else that was so free, I was just like, this is perfect. I was there the whole time, the whole weekend in pasties. I went to model on stage. They told me I could take my shirt off, so I did. And I was just like, fuck it, I want to live every day like this. Like, why can't I live every day like this?
Yeah.
You know, I stopped wearing bras. I was just like, fuck it. Like, it's my body. I'm embracing it. So that's how it got to that point. And so it's just, for me, I feel like there are other people who are on that same path or who are dealing with the same thing. And they need to see somebody who is free within themselves, you know, so they want to be that, you know, and they feel comfortable enough to just be them and not care what people fucking say about them. Like, I don't care what people say about me anymore. I used to. I don't anymore.
I feel that. Talk more about toxic masculinity, because like, so when you mention it, I kind of think about like the studs that are out there talking about how like two studs can't be together.
Oh yeah,
gay, but they're gay. So like, so tell me about that.
So the scene that I was first introduced into as a baby stud, as they would call it, or a baby dyke back in the day, I was probably like 17. They were like sneaking me into all the clubs, you know, had a fake ID and everything. But what I see, why I had to separate myself from that scene is because it's very heteronormative way of thinking. And I felt very out of place because I'm attracted to everyone. I don't care if you are a masculine presenting woman, if you're gender queer, I don't care if you're trans, like I love everybody. So for me to see that kind of hate within the community, it made me feel like I didn't want to be there and that I needed to find a community that made me feel comfortable. And so now I have identified more with the queer community because I feel accepted just being myself. But as far as the toxic masculinity, yes, you touched on a point where stud for stud is looked at as gay, and it's like, well, however you identify, we have enough hate outside of our community. We don't need that inside of our community. And they're taking on this heteronormative perspective that like, okay, the stud has to be the man and the woman has to be the woman and they have to be a femme and they have to live this way. And I'm like, but we don't.
Right.
We don't. And if we keep limiting ourselves, people are going to for sure keep limiting us, you know? So I think there needs to be a change, a mental shift in like, are you being you for you or are you being you for someone else? You know, is your mentality is structured around the oppressor, and I can't get with it. And I was that way for a while because that was all I saw within my community. That's all I knew until I felt within myself like, this isn't for me. This is not who I am. I don't want to bash other masculine people because they want to date masculine people. And I was like, damn, when I first came out, I was in a stud for stud chat room. I was like, shit, I felt like I couldn't be myself. You know? So I don't know, it took some powerful ass Black women to really shake up my world. That to make me see that where I was not where I wanted to be or needed to be, and that I was harming myself with the way that I was thinking, you know, because I thought that's how it had to be. You know, I grew up and I grew up as a tomboy. I was always with the men in my family. I took on some of those traits where I was objectifying women, or I was slut shame women. You know, it's just like that shit it was normal. You know, the outside world, they see me, or they identify me as a woman who wanted to be a man or who was more mass presenting. So I had to take on those traits. So they taught me those things, and then it's just recycled within the community. And I think it needs to be talked about more. You know, that's something that needs to be touched on more, definitely. Because people, we need to wake up. Like, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Yeah, I even see sometimes it's not okay. And like, I'll see things on the internet like, oh, if a stud gets like fucked with a strap, they're gay, things like that. But it's just like, aren't we all women at the end of the day? Like at the end of the day, right? If we're going to bed together, we take off our clothes. That's it. We're both women. So what does it matter? Why do we judge each other on that? I don't know. That's always one of my pet peeves. I don't know. Sometimes I go on Facebook and I look at like the comments of what people think. And they think the same thing, most of them. So I'm just yo.
And what kind of bugs me out too is like the friends of mine that are transitioning and that are trans, and then they start to like take on these like super heteronormative male stereotypes and characteristics, and they kind of put down even other lesbians, and that like really blows my mind. Like, you were just a lesbian like 4 months ago. What happened? And it bothers me, but yeah, no, so going off of what you're talking about, and like kind of dysmorphia and your expression and your body. So you kind of put yourself out there in a way that a lot of people are not really all that comfortable or confident enough to do.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with people kind of looking at you as a sexual object? I'm going to ask you the same question. Go ahead.
I think it could come from different perspectives, but from my perspective, it doesn't bother me. I think what bothers me is when hetero men are looking at me in a certain light and objectifying me, or not respecting my gender identity as a non-binary person, and just want to come at me as a woman and disrespect me and disrespect my body. That bothers me. As far as my community, I feel that I want people to be more open within themselves. And so by me doing this act of self-love, it is helping other people love themselves and accept themselves more, where they can be as comfortable as I feel within myself.
No, I hear that.
So, I don't dance.
I
don't dance at straight events. You will never catch me dancing at a straight event. I'm not going to dance for men, but I do dance for my community, and I do it as an act of love, of self-love, and an act of love for them. Because if you don't have representation of how you truly feel within yourself, you're never going to be comfortable enough to act on who you really are, unless you find it within yourself to just do it. But normally you want to see someone like you doing something so you feel comfortable to do it as well. And I never saw people like me doing it, which is probably part of the reason why I was never comfortable enough doing it. But at some point I had to ask the universe, and I had to call on people around me. And for me to feel empowered, it took my community to make me feel the way that I feel now. And it took me looking within myself to make me feel the way that I feel now. And I just want to give that to people around me who are like me, who don't have that representation, who don't have the reflection, to make them feel comfortable enough to be them, like fully.
Wow, it feels like you're doing like humanitarian work at the same time, getting these dollars and spreading positive vibes, and I feel it.
Yeah.
Soko, tell me about a time where you may have been or felt like you were objectified by someone.
Objectified? Sexually objectified?
Yeah, like did someone ever make you feel like you were a fetish?
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's often, especially nowadays. There's this whole fetish with dark-skinned women, and there's also a fetish when I even think about it, separate, like also with Africa, So it's just like double whammy. I mean, it's with everyone though. It could be with anyone. It could be with a random white man on the street, or like a random black girl, at a pool party.
Wait. So tell me about it. What it's like when another woman does this to you, like another black woman does this to you.
Sexual. It's just like pointing out the things that are obviously different. Like, oh my God, your skin color. Oh my God, your facial structure. Oh, I wish I had that. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. Or even white women love to fetish about.
Oh yes, they do. Oh yes, they do.
It looks like you. Oh my God, I can never. I wish I can.
And then grabbing
my hair like yours.
Yeah, trying to touch your hair, trying to touch your face. I actually experienced that in Canada. This lady grabbed my cheek. Well, and I don't know if it was a fetish, but she was like, I really wish you didn't get that tattoo on your face. And I was just like, well, it's a good thing it wasn't your decision or your life, right?
Right.
She grabbed your face and she didn't know you?
She didn't know me. It was that pride. And that's an issue that's also in the queer community. Like, you think it's okay. Some people just will grab you because, and so let's take it back to fetish, fetish. So I do have an opinion on being fetishized because there are times within the community people think they can just grab your ass or grab you because we're all queer and we're not cis men, but also you don't have consent to do that. You still have to ask. It doesn't matter what setting we're in. You still need to ask. It doesn't matter because I'm queer and you queer. You think you could just touch me? You still have to ask.
I want to battle that a little bit. Let me battle that a little bit because.
All right.
I understand consent. Consent is completely important. But sometimes I feel like people do that in that setting is because, like you were saying, we're free. We're being our queer selves. You know what I mean? And we want to show everybody love. Like, so it's not grabbing your ass or something out of like disrespect. Like, oh, what's up? It's like, yo, I love it. You're sexy. What's up?
It's not always like that though. People do grab your ass because they are trying to fuck you. And the thing is that it is triggering for some people. So you still have to ask for consent. Some people are triggered by that. And you don't know who's triggered by it. You don't know everyone's past. Like, you don't know what that will bring up for them in the moment.
I think some people think they can touch you too because they're tipping you, which is not okay either. Like, I gave you $1, I'm grabbing his titty. Literally.
So for me, if I don't put my titties in your face and, you can go ahead and grab them, then don't grab them. But you shouldn't, But if a dancer is making that okay, I'm giving you the okay, yes, that's fine. But if not, no, you shouldn't be doing that. So I definitely agree with you.
So I'm just thinking, because like you're pretty popular online too. How are people ever like sending you crazy messages or just leaving you comments that are like super like sexualizing you because of what you do? And like, how do you deal with that?
I don't think I deal with it as much as feminine presenting women deal with it. I have had like 2 guys send me a dick pic, and I had another guy ask me just nudes. What I did was just send them a bunch of dick pics back and like, stop sending women dick pics. Like, this unsolicited shit, like, stop doing this. Like, it's not okay.
You never I do sliding through the DMs?
Yeah, people be sliding through the DMs saying shit.
What they be saying? Tell me what they be saying.
Tell us what they say in your DMs. We know you popping. Tell us.
I mean, it's mainly women that slide in my DMs and, say what's up. They're usually respectful though, they're usually respectful. I mean, I be sliding in DMs too. I mean, some of it's unwanted, some of it's unwanted, Yeah. I think I would appreciate if people started a conversation with me first. Maybe ask me how I was doing, or saying like, I see what you're doing and I'm appreciative of it, or just your energy is whatever, instead of just coming straight direct at me. I mean, I appreciate your directness and you being forward because I know what it is that you want. Mm-hmm. But, it would be nice for people to want to engage in a conversation and not make me feel like I'm only here for sex, But I am all for sex workers. I support women who do whatever the hell they want to do with their bodies. It's your body. You do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. But it can sometimes get out of hand. With DMs, because people feel like, oh, it's the DM, I can message, I can say whatever I want, but if I do feel disrespected, I just tell people to back off, nicely, and I say, that was unwanted, or I didn't like that comment, or can you not hit me up in this manner or in this way? And the only people that I've like had backlash from have been dudes. It hasn't been women. For the most part, women have been very respectful of me online. But dudes are, a different story.
So, J. Marie, have you ever been sexually objectified?
I'm sorry?
Have you been fetishized, J. Marie?
I can only really recall one occasion where I was at this. It was actually in New Brunswick and in Jersey, and I was at this bar. It was like me and a bunch of just some friends. And this white guy came up behind me and slapped my ass and said, "No, I can't wait for that black ass." And that's what he said.
No.
And I just turned around, and it was weird because it caught me so off guard. Like, I had never been approached in that way. So I was just like, what? Like, I didn't even know what to say. And like, he just smiled at me and like hung on to the bar. And I guess was waiting for me to like, I don't know, throw myself at him or giggle. I'm not sure. But I just was so disgusted that I just looked at him and I left. And I just left the bar. But that was the only time that I have felt like, because I'm Black, this person wants to be with me. And that's the only reason. Or they're, you know, he just saw me as like this thing he could play with for the moment. That is wild. But that, you know, it's funny because so I used to follow like King Kels when King Kels was doing, I don't know if you know who that is. When she was doing all that. And I thought she was crazy. Like, I used to go to the club to see her, the strip club. Like, I was so excited for someone like her presenting in this way to be a stripper. And I thought it was awesome. So when I first met you, I was really interested in what you were doing. But now that you're explaining it to me, it's really not the same thing. You know, like you're not entertaining for the purpose of just taking off your clothes. You know, you're kind of like part of the atmosphere and helping the party to continue to move, right? Which is very different. But how do you feel about the argument that some people might have where you kind of deserve this sometimes negative attention because you put yourself out there in this way?
People are gonna always have their opinion, you know, about that. And I think that comes back to slut shaming women in general, that you put yourself in this position because you had your clothes off. I didn't ask you to come say anything to me. I didn't ask you to come touch me. If I feel good about myself and I dressed the way I dressed today or didn't dress the way I dressed today because it made me feel good, that's my decision. That is not a opening or a pathway for you to come do anything that you want to do. You know, so people have this idea, oh, this person's a slut because they dress like this, which means they want people to come and invade their space. No, nobody asked you to do that. I would have wore a shirt that said, come up and grab me. You know, I would have came up to you if I wanted that. Obviously, it's not what I want. And that just goes back to that's slut shaming women. That's all it is. It's like, if women dress this way, they obviously wanted it. This woman got raped because she was dressing like that. No, she dressed however the fuck she wanted because it made her feel good about herself. You know, and I think we need to take the stigma away. Like, you dress how you want to dress. You come off how you want to come off. It doesn't mean that I want you to come in my space and touch me, you know. Or say anything that you feel is comfortable saying to me. No, like,
for real,
just because I dress a certain way
is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Like, we as a whole, as people, we need to have more respect for women, especially feminine women, especially feminine Black bodies. Like, there's so much disrespect, you know, and it's not okay. And I've gotten into altercations because of it, because I'm just at this point pretty fucking tired of it and having to explain to men why it is not okay to do what the fuck they're doing. I had to choke a guy in Canada, a white guy. I've had to jump a Black guy here with my ex-girlfriend. And I'm just now convinced at this point that I have to carry pepper spray or a taser or something, because I'm just going to have to at this point. Because it's not even about me. I'm seeing this shit happen to feminine women every day. And I'm just so disgusted. And I'm so at the point where I'm like, something has to be done. Nobody's fucking doing anything about it. And
yeah,
here goes a tase. Put your ass on the ground and walk away. Like, will you do that again? You might, but you might think about it the next time.
Yeah, true.
You know?
I feel you.
But I definitely feel like the Black woman is the most unprotected person in America. And I don't know. It's just, I don't really know what we can do to support more, or what we can do, like, activism-wise. Like, I feel like there's a lot being done, and men are just not getting it. There are men that are getting it, but men are just not getting it. And I'm just like, well, if we're gonna have to take it into our own hands, I don't want to be violent, but I will protect Black women at all costs. So
we need it.
Yeah, we do need it. Yeah, but as Black women, you know, we all women, we all need to stick together though. Like, allies, Black women, be there for your sisters, allies in the right place. Like, your heart is in the right place, help us out. Like, we all need to really band together through these trying Trump times.
My God.
Queer Ambition definitely wants to thank you for joining us with this conversation today.
Thank you, Yanni.
Lots of
Is it over?
Thank you so much. You're such a free, loving spirit. I loved your energy, and I see the oranges and the reds,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and we'll hope to have you again on Queer Ambition.